Howdy gamers. I'm very excited to show you what I've got today. What I have here is a proof of concept for a Dota 2 mod I've been working on that is basically going to be my take on Eternal Return. Keep in mind, this is kind of just the engine within the engine. Just kind of the engine for running this game in the Dota 2 like mod stuff. And so like kind of everything here is placeholders. There's no like actual content. It's just getting all the mechanics in place for like a really kind of the minimum viable version of this, I think. But anyways, that said, something you're going to notice here is that each of these teams are a zone. That is kind of just something I had to do due to how the Dota 2 mod stuff works. And so your zone also determines your team. Next is going to be character select. Something important to note here is that each character only has like 2 skills. And that's because there's going to be more skills coming from weapons. And also, any character is going to be able to use any weapon, basically. I think something a lot of people wanted to see in Eternal Return was just more characters with more weapons, but that didn't really happen, at least not while I was still playing. And also there's going to be more skills coming from weapons, so they kind of feel a bit different instead of just one thing being a better stick of stats, basically. Yeah, also something to notice here, things are kind of just on the ground. That's how things are for now. Implementing actual like shop stuff, or not shop stuff, crate stuff is going to be kind of just too hard. Yeah, the reason I slipped and said shop is because I was thinking about the shop waddle. This guy's here basically just to enable the global map, like shop, which is basically where crafting is going to happen for now.
Of course.
Because I just didn't make a custom crafting UI. So basically it's just going to be like buying items normally in Dota. The main difference is that you can't actually buy these components. Yeah, I set them to not purchasable. Just the recipe cost is 1 gold, and so that's how you combine stuff, basically. And so right now, I only got a fist for a weapon. Now we got fist and sword. Something to note, though, is you might be wondering, why do you still only have 2 skills? And that's because you activate the weapon to equip it, basically. So I'm about to equip the fist. You'll notice I got a fist floating above my head that lets other people know and lets you know at a glance, just looking at your character, you got your fists out. Also got, 2 new skills, and then also this other skill to, remind you you've got your fist out. And then, a second here, you're gonna be clicking on the sword to equip the sword, basically. And now I got a sword floating above my head. Something to note is that these skills are not actual Yuki skills. They're just things that I took from other Dota heroes, and I was just testing how to replace icons and just left them there. You can even see here, this is just the skewer ability from the Magnus dude. But yeah, so that's kind of it for the skills. The other thing is it's a wall of fire instead of zones closing, because zone closing would be hard to implement. Wall of fire, very easy to implement. And it's also a battle royale classic, so I think it's fine. But I think that's kind of it as far as this kind of like proof of concept goes. Like basically all this stuff is temp. I don't think you can even use this alt right now because I think it needs something. I don't know how Wukong or whatever his name is in Dota works. I think they call him Monkey King. But yeah, and on that note, I don't know how a lot of Dota heroes work, so it's probably going to be a while before I steal enough abilities to cobble together some good like characters and weapons. I'm literally having to like make notes and just like go through the like Dota thing because I don't know what they do, because I've only ever really played League between the two. But yeah, something to note too is that this project is on GitLab, so if you want to like look at some of the Erbs 2 code, you can play around with it. You can like download it if you get the stuff running. You should be able to just run it. Something to note though is I did do a lot of, I guess, kind of like file generation stuff. Just cause like there's a lot of stuff that's like kind of a weird format. This is like a special Valve format, and so I'm just having some Python files generate that instead. But if you can you can either edit it manually or you can edit these Python files and just, you know, run a script basically. There's information, you know, in this README over here, kind of, you know, like here, and some notes about making changes or whatever. But yeah, so I guess expect to see some more, like, I guess, devlogs or whatever in the future. And at some point, something that's like actually like playable instead of just like a tech demo or like proof of concept. I think it's gonna be pretty cool, and hope you're excited too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.